Module Overview. Behavioral interviews are the backbone of most healthcare recruitment processes in the UK and EU. These interviews are designed to uncover how you actually behave in real-world clinical or professional scenarios, rather than simply testing your knowledge. The STAR technique is the most widely accepted and recommended structure for delivering clear, concise, and compelling answers during these interviews. This module aims to give you the tools to analyze, structure, and communicate your professional experiences in a way that meets the expectations of UK NHS panels and EU healthcare recruiters. By the end of this module, you will be able to break down behavioral interview questions, structure their responses using STAR with strategic depth, demonstrate alignment with NHS values or EU care standards, prepare and refine real-life examples for interview use, confidently communicate experience with empathy, ethics, and effectiveness. Section 1. Understanding the STAR method. The STAR method is a structured approach to answering competency-based questions. Component description. Tips S. Situation. Describe the context or background. Be brief but clear. T. Task. Outline your responsibility in that situation. Emphasize your role. A. Action. Explain the steps you took. This should form the bulk of your answer. R. Result. Share the outcome and what you learned. Quantify results if possible. Example. Question. Tell me about a time you dealt with a difficult patient. STAR response. Sample. Situation. I was working on a surgical ward, and one patient frequently refused medication. Task. As the attending nurse, I needed to ensure medication compliance for his safety. Action. I engaged him in conversation, identified he was scared of side effects, and collaborated with the pharmacist to adjust dosage and schedule. Result, the patient adhered to the plan, experienced no adverse effects, and expressed gratitude during discharge. Section 2. Why behavioral interviews matter. In the UK, NHS values-based recruitment, VBR, heavily favors real-life experience over hypothetical responses. Interviewers look for evidence of patient-centered care teamwork, ethical decision-making, cultural competence. In the EU, employers prefer examples that highlight adaptability, emotional intelligence, and proactive problem-solving. Behavioral responses help gauge language use, professional maturity, and interpersonal effectiveness. Section 3. Deconstructing common behavioral questions. Competency sample. Question communication. Describe a time you had to explain something difficult to a patient or family member. Leadership. Tell me about a time you took initiative in a clinical setting. Conflict resolution. Have you ever disagreed with a colleague? How did you handle it? Time management. Describe a situation where you had to prioritize urgent tasks. Compassion. Share an example where you showed empathy in a stressful situation. Advanced tip. Incorporate reflective learning. What would you do differently? At the end of your STAR to show growth. Section 4. Crafting winning STAR stories. Choose stories that highlight your direct contributions, show outcomes or impact, improved health, team harmony, safety, are relevant to healthcare, even if from school or internships, reflect NHS or EU core values, safety, dignity, accountability, excellence. Practice Core 5 stories, a mistake you learned from, a time you solved a patient issue, an ethical challenge, a leadership or teamwork moment, a time you worked under pressure. Create a STAR bank. Keep a notebook or spreadsheet with a list of 5 to 10 STAR stories, keywords for each competency, outcomes or results for easy recall. Section 5. Aligning STAR with NHS and EU frameworks. NHS core values. Align one STAR per value. Working together for patients. Respect and dignity. Commitment to quality of care. Compassion. Improving lives. Everyone counts EU alignment. Patient rights and autonomy. EU Charter. Equity and inclusion, e.g., language barriers. Safety protocols, e.g., hygiene, medication. Interdisciplinary team working. Incorporating specific references to NHS trusts, NICE guidelines, or EU policy strengthens your answer's credibility. Section 6. Accreditation Alignment. This module meets competencies outlined by NHS England VBR Framework, Health Education England, STAR and Interview Toolkit EU Skills, Panorama, Health Sector Interview Guidelines, GMC/NMC Interview Readiness Standards, HCPC Professional Communication Outcomes, World Health Organization's Code of Conduct for Health Personnel. Section 7. Self-Practice Exercise. Write 3-star responses on conflict resolution, patient empathy, initiative, leadership time each one, maximum 2 minutes per answer, review for clarity, relevance, and structure, record and replay to assess tone, clarity, body language. Module Summary. Behavioral interviews test your real-life performance and value alignment. The STAR technique is essential for delivering clear, impactful, and relevant answers. Every healthcare professional should have a bank of prepared STAR stories. Answers must balance technical competence with emotional intelligence. STAR-aligned interviews are used by all NHS trusts, EU hospitals, and global recruiters.